My name is Kaylea Watkins. I am 33 years old. Today is February 23rd, 2023. I am at Mount St. Vincent, West Seattle, Washington, and my partner is a colleague.
My name is Veronica Couto. I'm 31. Today is February 23rd, 2023. And I'm at Providence Mount St. Vincent with my colleague. How did you find the Mount?
This was actually my second job out of college, out of nursing school. I knew I wanted to work in elder care. This was one of the first elder care places that I applied to. I had applied to some other hospitals thinking I needed to go to the hospital first, but then I was very pleasantly surprised that they would take me with open arms directly into the nursing home.
When did you start?
2011. So I've been here for over 11 years. I have a few stories to
Okay.
share. There was one that really demonstrates kind of the individual person-directed care that we provide here at the Mount. And it also is kind of a selling point for fellow caregivers too, that we get to really cater to everyone's spirit as well as their mind and their body. So I had a resident when I was a nurse on the 4th floor, and his name was Don. And Don was an incredibly well-educated guy. I believe he was a lawyer, just very smart and would always have very intelligent conversations. And one of the things that I learned about Don is that he loved the opera. He'd always get the opera magazines delivered to his room. He had been a big supporter of the Seattle Opera. And so we just knew that that was a big part of Don's life and that he really liked going to the opera. One week, he was talking about the opera and he kept talking about it for several months, how he wanted to go to the opera. And then finally he told me, I have a ticket to the opera and I'm going to the opera. Now, Don was also, he wasn't wheelchair bound. He could use a walker, but he had quite a few mobility issues. As his nurse, I was very concerned about him going to the opera safely by himself. But I did know that this was really, really important to Don to go to the opera. And he had a ticket and he wasn't going to give his ticket up. And if I didn't, quote unquote, let him go, he was going to take a taxi and go by himself. I actually talked to my partner at home, Marty, and I made him learn how to use the handicap accessible van that we have here at the Mount. And I made him turn in his driving history and all of this so that he could drive us to the opera. We were able to purchase tickets and go with Don to the opera. My partner still talks about it to this day because he was so impressed. Don had 2 glasses of champagne, which he drank through a straw quite vigorously at the intermission. So Don had a good day at the opera. That was my first opera experience, so he was kind of excited to share it with us as well. And so that was a really special memory and just kind of makes me think of this is how we are here. We're going to take Dom to the opera. Mobility issues be hanged. We're going to make this work. We had another resident. Her name was Donna. She had really significant dementia, which can be really hard, especially for family members. Sometimes they get the feeling that someone with dementia is no longer the same person. So she had pretty advanced dementia. She didn't have a very long memory, short-term memory. She would last about 2 minutes and then she would kind of forget what you had said 2 minutes ago. So she was also one of our frequent fallers, but I just loved how we helped her to not fall as much because we did so much learning about Donna in order to make that happen. For example, she was always wanting to catch the bus. She wanted to go to the bank. Even at 2 o'clock in the morning, she'd want to go to the bank. So she'd always be wheeling, and sometimes that was how she fell, was she'd try to catch the bus and she'd fall out of her wheelchair. So we made a sign that was the bus stop in the neighborhood where we could keep an eye on her. That actually worked really well for her. She just felt like she was waiting for the bus, and we were there if she needed anything. Another thing was because she always wanted to go to the bank. We got her brother, I believe it was, brought in her purse. And I was just like, well, of course she wants her purse. Like any woman feels naked without their purse. If we carry a purse, you feel naked without it. We had her brother bring in her purse and we put a checkbook in it. If she was ever kind of getting restless and she wasn't sure what she wanted to do, we'd say, oh, well, you should balance your checkbook. And she would take out her checkbook. She wouldn't really do much math or writing in it, but she would kind of ruffle through her checks, and that would make her really happy for a few minutes. We made sure she had lipstick. So she went from a lady who didn't wear any makeup, found out that she used to wear lipstick all the time and keep lipstick in her purse. And so then she had her lipstick, and so every so often we'd say, oh, you need a refresher. She'd pull out her purse and grab her lipstick and put some lipstick on. It's just like those little moments of knowing that that person is still in there. That person is still the same person. Not the same exactly. All of us change throughout life. Even when somebody has dementia, it doesn't mean that that person's not still in there.
In your opinion, what is the legacy of the Mount? Why should we still be here 100 years from now?
The legacy of the Mount is being a family. We really do try very hard to be family to each other. The staff and the residents' families are really present here and a part of our family as well. We have a lot of family members of residents who will come and not just visit their loved one, but they'll make friends with their loved one's neighbors, bring in cake for the whole neighborhood. So I think that's part of our legacy is our focus on community and family.